This is FE Peer Review. The date is March 18th, 2021. Is gravity a force? Is the Golden Gate Bridge a bridge? Is Arnold a cat? The idea has been floating around in some circles that Einstein claimed that gravity is not a force. Perhaps Einstein may have even proven that gravity is not a force. In the Wikipedia entry on gravity, you will find the following statement. Gravity is most accurately described by the general theory of relativity proposed by Albert Einstein in 1915, which describes gravity not as a force, but as a consequence of masses moving along geodesic lines in curved space-time caused by the uneven distribution of mass. Now, frankly, I'm not a physicist, and even if I read Einstein's papers, I probably wouldn't understand most of them, and would not be able to tell you whether Einstein actually said or proved or did not say and did not prove that gravity is not a force, or what a force is, or what gravity is. However, if this statement from Wikipedia is being used as the basis for people's assertions that Einstein said gravity was not a force, then we have something to discuss. This is not a question of gravity or forces. This is a question of the English language. Gravity, describing gravity not as a force, but as a consequence of masses. This is the Golden Gate Bridge. I could describe the Golden Gate Bridge as a piece of highly engineered infrastructure made predominantly of steel with concrete anchorages at either end and concrete foundations under the towers. Or I could describe the Golden Gate Bridge as a major tourist attraction and iconic object representing the city of San Francisco. Now, in doing so, I would not be proving that it's not a piece of highly engineered infrastructure. And in describing it as a piece of highly engineered infrastructure, I would not be proving it is not an iconic tourist attraction in San Francisco. Both are correct, and both are simply two different ways of describing one object, because one object may have many qualities and attributes. This is Arnold. I've used this picture without asking Mr. Sensible's permission. I'm going to drop him a note and let him know that I've done this, and I hope that he won't mind if I show a picture of Arnold to the world. I think Arnold's an adorable cat. I could describe Arnold as an example of Felis catus, the domestic species of small carnivorous animal. I could also describe Arnold as a great companion and, as it says down here in the bottom, slayer of flurfs. So when we see the phrase which describes gravity not as a force, but as a consequence of masses, etc., this is not saying that gravity is not a force. It's not saying that. This is just English I'm talking about now. I'm not talking about physics. I'm talking about the English language. This sentence does not say that gravity is not a force. It says that Einstein did not describe gravity as a force, but rather as something else. Doesn't mean it's not a force. It is also capable of being described in another way. Now, perhaps Einstein said or proved that gravity is not a force. I have no idea if he did. Maybe it's in his papers. However, it's not in this sentence. So I just wanted to clear that up. I think it's really important when we use language to use it as precisely as we can. I often say that fuzzy language is a symptom of fuzzy thinking, and sometimes just the act of trying to clarify our words helps us to clarify our thoughts. And on that note, I will bid you all a very pleasant day.